Hello and welcome to A Closer Look. I'm Crystal Carter. Gen Z is often labeled unprepared for the workforce, but a recent New York Times focus group suggests the issue may be a lack of clarity, not capability. Across the country, many young professionals say they're unsure how to navigate expectations, career paths, and what success looks like on the job. At the same time, AI is reshaping entry-level roles, raising a bigger question. If learning on the job is disappearing, where are those skills supposed to come from? Joining us is entrepreneur, speaker, and author Amy Summers, who says this isn't a Gen Z problem, it's a mentorship gap. Welcome, Amy.
Thanks for having me.
We keep hearing that Gen Z is unprepared for our workforce. Are they unprepared, or is there this bigger issue that we're not seeing?
I don't think it's that they're so unprepared, but I think it's really that they're unmentored. So we've allowed technology to come into our world and make our lives easier, but in the process of that, it's caused a lot of disconnection. So we think we're connected, but we're not as connected as we think. And I think for young professionals and students coming up, they really haven't had that human touch, that there's a lot of learning that comes from human touch.
Now, at a time when jobs are running on skeleton crews, how do you manage to fit that mentorship in for this younger generation?
Well, my book, Lift, I talk about making it just part of your leadership style. So I think we've turned mentorship into a program, a thing, something on our to-do list. So it's something extra, and it makes it feel like a heavy lift, like something extra that we have to do. But in reality, it's really just simple things. I break them down in my book called Touchpoints. And if you can incorporate some of these touch points just in your daily routine and make it more of a habitual, then mentorship comes easy.
And many people are saying that entry level just isn't entry level anymore. What has changed?
Well, it's not. We've automated a lot of those entry level tasks. And so what's happening right now is young professionals are coming into the workforce and they're almost immediately being asked to manage other people, and they haven't really been managed themselves. So we learn a lot from just watching our bosses, our managers, learning how they taught us how to do tasks. And from that, those entry-level jobs, you learn a lot of things about time management, how to dress appropriately for meetings, how to interact with people, just basic skills that we don't even give a lot of thought to. But if we eliminate all of that and then throw somebody into a position where they have to now manage someone, that can be really daunting.
Now, if they're not learning on the job before, where should they be learning these skills? Should they be learning it in college?
Well, college has also brought in a lot of technology. So a lot of students are telling me that many times they just don't go to their classrooms anymore. They have the option to do it on Zoom, and many times they do because it's convenient and it's easy, just like how we use technology in our business lives. But the problem is they're not in that classroom setting where, a professor is going to call on them and they're not expecting it. And now they have to think on their feet. So they haven't really toned up those skills that would have come naturally in the classroom setting. So if they have spent most of their college career in virtual settings or even in classes where they're all recorded and they can do them at their own time, they may not have the skills of time management, how to respond to somebody, overcome objections, persuade people. These are all skills that we learn from others, and they're really important. So it's important for leaders and managers to know that they're going to have to spend some extra time teaching these skills on the job.
Now, there is going to be pushback. There are going to be Gen Xers, for example, who say, we were thrown in with our feet to the fire. We had to learn our own way. Why is it now that we have to go back and do something differently just because it's a different generation? What do you say to them?
Well, I hear you on Gen X because I am one. So that's part of the reason why I wrote the book. I kind of got tired of Gen Xers saying that. This is our next generation of leaders. It is our responsibility to help develop them and to develop talent. And to my fellow Gen Xers, I would say, let's just get over it. I mean, this is the next generation that needs our help. This is what they've gone through. They've grown up on technology. They've gone through major crises like the pandemic. They've been shut down. They've been isolated, and we need to show them the ropes. It is our job.
Okay, so you talk about mentorship as a daily leadership habit in your book, Lift. So can you explain what that actually looks like in the real business world?
Sure. So they're just simple things. And these touch points might resonate with a lot of people. They might say, oh, I already do that, or I used to do that, or I sometimes do that. And it's just things like, show up, be there for somebody, be present. Even in the interview process, we've automated it so much that a lot of managers and bosses are not even a part of it. So they're bringing in people that they haven't even vetted themselves. We need to meet these people in person. We need to show up for them right at the start of their career journey because it also shows them a lot of respect. Other things like, giving them structure and goals and calling them spontaneously, not waiting to schedule a meeting. Doing those types of things will really build a lot of confidence.
So if a manager says this sounds like it's something that we need to start doing, what is the one simple thing that they could start doing today that then they can build on?
Today, I would say just call somebody out of the blue. We have eliminated spontaneous communication from our life. We have scheduled everything. And when you schedule meetings, it causes a lot of anxiety. It also causes the person to over prepare. I say just call them up. Hey, how are you doing? How's it going today? No agenda, just have a chat. Every time I've done it with my team, I either discover a problem I didn't know about, or we end up brainstorming something very innovative that turns into a great solution for our clients. So I say just, spend 10 minutes, call someone out of the blue, and that's a great way to start.
And going back to, I guess, the Debbie Downers of the situation, some of the companies might say, okay, we're going to invest in this, but Gen Z and the generation before them are not necessarily like other generations in that maybe we were taught to be extremely company loyal, and they are very much moving to the next opportunity quickly. So aren't we just setting ourselves up to give them a way to jump ship? So how do you respond to something like that to make sure these people are still getting the mentorship they need and the company is still getting what it needs without constantly bringing new talent up only to leave?
Well, we are in a new environment. You said that so accurately, and we have to shift our mindset. And so that is the entire premise of Lift. As you lift others, you rise. So just go into it knowing that they are going to move on from you. You are going to create an incredible talent that is going to do amazing things. And your goal as a leader, boss, manager should be to get them to the next level and to get them out of your team or out of your company entirely. Make them a success. And in turn, they will make your company a success. And I also talk about in the book that leaders should not be scared of people leaving. There's a whole touch point on healthy exits. You should become somebody who is a talent developer. Make your talent skills and your developing talent something that's really valuable so that you're never worried about losing people. And I tell you, if you help someone rise, you will rise with them.
Now, let's flip it the other way. Say that you are a Gen Zer and you've entered the workforce and you are just completely overwhelmed, but things go at such a fast pace. You want the mentorship, but you don't know how to ask for it. How do you approach that?
Yes, well, this can get very awkward, right? To ask somebody to mentor you. It's kind of like asking someone to marry you on the first date. Super awkward. So I say, don't ask the question. Just don't even ask it. It's too awkward. What you should be looking at if you're looking for mentorship is you should be looking at the leaders who you aspire to be like. Or maybe there are certain groups in your company where you say, I wish I was on that team instead of the team that I am on. Once you've identified those teams or that individual, then offer to help. No one's going to turn down help. So offer to help, offer to join them in a project they're working on. And before you know it, you are going to be mentored by them.
Now, if a company gets this right, they do it and it seems to be working for them, what kind of changes are they in for both the team and the company culture that they have?
Well, I think it just changes everything. So if a company really embraces this, then they become known as an organization that is helping others in their career and helping them elevate, and that are not so self-centered and egocentric. And these young professionals that are coming to the workforce today, they're really done with ego. We've had plenty of examples of ego. Nobody wants a Devil Wears Prada boss anymore. Even if we go to the movie, we don't want that kind of boss. And so they're looking for a more nurturing environment. They're looking for somebody who's going to be supportive because they haven't had that. And if you can become known as that at your company, you will attract all kinds of talent. You'll have a whole line waiting outside your door of people that want to come work for you.
Now, for either those managers or for those Gen Zers, millennials, and so on who think that this is an amazing process, but they need to learn more about it, where are they going to be able to find your book, Lift?
Yes, so you can learn about my book, Lift, at lifttolead.com, and that'll give you all the information you need and all the links to go find it.
Absolutely. And for those that have seen this or heard this today, since we're television and radio, and they want to follow your advice, where can they find you specifically? Are you on social medias giving this advice? Can they find you on LinkedIn or on TikTok, on Reels?
Absolutely. You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, at Amy Summers NYC on all social platforms, even Blue Sky and X. You'll find me there.
Amy Summers, thank you so much for joining us today. We have learned a lot about closing that mentorship gap with the younger generation. I'm Crystal Carter. This has been A Closer Look.